So, smart homes. They're meant to be smart, but more often than not, always end up being more trouble than they're actually worth, i.e. things not working or you're having to set things up, which just takes time. Today, I want to talk about smart homes, more specifically, resetting it to basics and changing my entire home's ecosystem. So for me, a smart home is about having an ecosystem of different products from different manufacturers all working harmoniously together. Now, for the longest time, I've used the Google Home ecosystem. I've had a device in each room and then assigned certain devices, whether they're lights from LifeX or Philips Hue or contact sensors, motion sensors from different companies, and they've all come together under the one Google Home ecosystem. Now, there's two problems with this. Number one, sometimes devices just come up as unresponsive.
It looks like the loft lamp isn't available right now.
The second thing is that with the Google system, I have to do absolutely everything with my voice. And whilst at first it does seem very futuristic, you'll find after sort of half a year, having to talk to your lights to turn them on becomes more of a chore than something to better your life. Now, by any means, I'm not throwing any shade onto Fabaro. This is my previous smart home system, which I'm replacing in this video. And this has been absolutely great for, I don't know, sort of the past year. Now, we did a video on this when it was installed, and this gear is really good, but it's not for the faint of heart. I actually had to have a smart home installer, certified guy, come round, show me the ins and outs of this device, as to which to this day, I still don't really understand.
Into the thick of it! Into the thick of it!
For this to interact with my lights in the kitchen, for example, which are LifeX lights, we have to write some code on here, which we did, and it worked fine for ages, allowing me to control the lights with this button here, which was really, really cool. But about a month ago, that code broke, and this thing stopped talking to my lights in the kitchen, rendering this whole system useless. Now, HomeKit. It's really safe to say that it has come on leaps and bounds in the last 2 to 3 years. That much so, in fact, that for the last 2 months, I've actually been trusting it to run my entire smart home, with obviously some help from a little device just around this corner called the Aqara M2 Hub. Now, this is a really cool smart home hub that can interface with loads of other little gizmos and gadgets, which we'll get onto a little bit later in this video. But the main kicker in all of this is that it is really, really inexpensive and it's compatible with HomeKit. Now, my previous smart home hub is absolutely huge. The power brick to power my last hub is literally the same size as this entire hub, should I mention that it's powered via USB. As well as that, it's also about 1/3 the price. So let's see how this thing is set up in my house. Okay, so how does this Aqara system work, and what are all the accessories that interlink with this and make this a full-on usable, not only smart home system, but security system as well? Here in my lounge or cinema room, we've got one of the sensors, that being a motion sensor. Now, the motion sensors from Aqara come in on Amazon for around £20, which is absolutely insane. And like I've said before, they obviously work with HomeKit, so they will communicate with the Aqara M2 Hub and appear in HomeKit as a sensor. This is a different sensor that Aqara make. Again, around £15 on Amazon. Really doesn't break the bank. And like I've already mentioned, compatible with HomeKit. These sensors show up in HomeKit as an actual sensor, which can lead you on to loads of really awesome home automations. It's right here. So this just tells me whether or not my door, the back door, the garden door, has been opened or closed. And with HomeKit, I can do really awesome things like have notifications come straight through to my phone as soon as this door is either opened, or if I wanted to, have a notification when it's closed to make sure that the door hasn't been left open. So now I've moved over into the actual Apple Home app, and as you can see, we're on my kitchen page. I've got all of my rooms here. Now I have LifeX lights in my kitchen, and you can see all of these in the app. So I'm gonna add an automation here in the Apple Home app, and we're gonna use a sensor, and I'm gonna say here, when the kitchen garden door opens, let's turn on the dining table. Now I'm going to click done. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is turn off all the lights in the kitchen. And now if this works, I'll get my lovely assistant Jed to open the door again, and hands-free, this light should come on. How cool is that? Just by Jed opening the door. Now, that was only a shy little example, having the kitchen table light turn on as the back door opened. How does it actually work practically in my life? Well, welcome back to the lounge again. In here, I have a mixture of smart bulbs. The actual GU10s that are downlighting the room are from Philips Hue, using the Philips Hue bridge, compatible with HomeKit. The LED strips that go around the actual drop ceiling, like the kitchen, those are from LifeX. Two different manufacturers that I want to be able to activate in this room. How are we going to do that? Well, with an Aqara motion sensor through HomeKit. Now, if I click on the Automations tab, we can see what I actually have set up here. So I can say, here, look, when motion is detected in the living room, set all of these accessories, so our two LED strips from LifeX and our 4 Hue bulbs, to 100% brightness, and then turn them off after 5 minutes of no motion. So all of the lights, when you enter this room, obviously 2 different manufacturers, they all come on quite quickly. Actually, it really works very well. This definitely wouldn't have been what I would have expected from HomeKit over 3 years ago. In my opinion, it just wouldn't have worked. Okay, so welcome to my downstairs bathroom. I've got a few more automations in here, all again with Aqara. So on the outside, I've got the switch that I installed. One of the buttons on the switch controls the lights, but as you can hear and see, it doesn't actually control the lights, and that's because I've disabled the hardware button on these, because these are actually Philips Hue lights, and I'll show you how they're controlled in just a second. The other switch here controls the extractor fan, which is right above the toilet, and then again clicking it, switching it off. I haven't disabled that switch because I'd like a manual override for that fan if I would like it. However, both the fan and the lights in here are automated via a motion sensor that lives underneath the sink. You wouldn't even know it was there unless I'd told you about it. So if we take a look at the automation that I've got set up in the Home app, we've got here that when motion is detected in the downstairs toilet via the Aqara motion sensor, then to automatically turn on these lights. You can see here we've got 54, 66, 59 and 48%. That's because I've got 2 different automations set up. That's the nighttime or evening automation, and then the daytime one obviously sets all of the lights to 100% so they're at their brightest. I just don't want to get dazzled at nighttime opening the bathroom door. Now, the bathroom fan automation isn't done in the Apple Home app, it's done in the Aqara app specifically. And that's because it's the Aqara motion sensor controlling the Aqara switch. And we can do some little more intricate things inside of the Aqara app. Let me show you this. So I've got if no motion is detected in the bathroom for over 3 minutes. So let's just say, for an example, you've been in, you've done your business, you've washed your hands, you've left. 3 minutes later, then we're going to turn the bathroom fan on for 1 minute 20 seconds and then turn it off. This way, when you're actually in the bathroom using the facilities, you don't have the annoying noise of the fan, but 3 minutes after you've left, the fan kicks on for a little minute to get rid of all of the nasty smells. Just little smart things like that that really make this seem really, really magical. Now, if you circle back to something that I said at the start of the video, that was that when I was controlling all of my appliances through the Google ecosystem, it was getting rather a chore to have to talk to the system to activate my lights. Now, recently I went on Kickstarter and actually backed a new project, which was a smart switch, which they said would be able to control different smart home manufacturers. Aqara, they've made one really, really cheap. This is under £20, and this is a little wireless button, which again, like the door sensors and the motion sensors, appears in HomeKit, so is compatible with all of my lights in my house. LifeX in here, I can set the mood by double clicking this thing. 2 clicks and I've set the mood. If I hold it, it turns all the lights off. What are you noticing as well? 1 click, they all come on. It's super, super quick, and that's not something I could say about my last smart home setup because it had to reach the internet to activate a LifeX scene to change the lights, whereas all of this is done locally. Now, something I would like to mention as well is Aqara make a few other bits that I haven't been able to test out, like this roller shade driver for chain blinds. I don't have any chain blinds in here, but you could automate your blinds with this Aqara stuff as well. So let us know in the comment down below if you want us to check out some of this stuff in a later video. They also make a water leak sensor here. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. If this thing detects water, you could have it notify you to your phone, flash the lights. It's compatible with HomeKit. So honestly, your mind is kind of the limit with this. But there you guys have it. That is how I've implemented Aqara into my, well, new Apple smart home. And to be honest, I'm really, really impressed with how it's working. It's a far cry better than what it was when I tested it a few years back. And that's really, really good news. So with that being said, guys, my name's been Alex, this has been TechFlow, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.